He used the most vulnerable months of my life to quietly become the one in charge of everything, and I was so exhausted, I didn't even see the walls going up. The moment I realized I wasn't grieving him anymore, I was grieving myself, was the moment everything changed. The shift happened on a Tuesday in April. I was crying in the shower, which had become so normal I barely noticed. But that morning something changed. I wasn't crying about him anymore. I was crying about me. About the woman I used to be before I handed him the job of deciding who I was. That's the thing about postpartum. You're already cracked wide open. Your body just did something enormous and your hormones are wrecked and you need to be held. He saw that window and he stepped through it. Not violently. Gently, even. He became the one who knew best. How the baby should be handled. How I should be sleeping. Whether I was capable of going back to work or whether I needed more time. He made decisions and presented them as care, and I was too exhausted to see the shape of what was being built. His bad days became my emergency. His moods set the weather for the whole house. If he was distant, I spent the evening finding out why and fixing it. If he was anxious, I absorbed it and smoothed it over. And when I was struggling, truly struggling, he had needs that somehow always arrived right on top of mine and took up more room. I stayed because I was in love with his best days. He had them. That's the cruelest part. Some weekends he was so close to the man I had married that I would think, there he is. He's back. I just have to be patient a little longer. I spent years waiting for that version to come back full time. My sister called every week without fail. She never pushed. She just left the door open in her voice. I kept not walking through it. The drive was 3 hours, alone, the first time I had been truly alone in longer than I could account for. And somewhere on that highway, with no one to manage and no mood to read, I thought, I am allowed to leave. Not he is bad enough that I have to, just I am allowed. I drove home and I called my sister. I said one word, ready. She said, I'll come tomorrow. I have been saying no to things that cost me ever since. No doesn't always go over well, but the world hasn't ended. It's just gotten quieter, and the quiet, for the first time in years, is mine.